Welcome, mathematics scholars and mathematics teachers. We are initiating ourselves and are also simultaneously exposing ourselves to the jurisprudence of mathematics and orientation for the pairing format. So, pairing format for formats pairing is a concept which deserves to be chased as blissful exercises. Mathematics is a product of mind, and mathematics is healthy food for mind. Mathematics, Ganit, we have to reach to Ganit beach, mathematics seed. Ganit beach, mathematics seed. And this takes us to Beej Ganit, mathematics of seed. Mathematics seed and mathematics of seed. From mathematics we have to reach to its seed, and in respect of seed we have to reach at its mathematics. Ganit as formulation takes us to TCV 18, and Beej as formulation takes us to TCV 16. Values of pair 1816 and 1618 deserve to be meditated upon, and when we chase value 18, it takes us to its fourfold organization, which is parallel to fourfold manifestation layer of hypercube of 5, the representative regular body of 5 space, transcendental space, presided by Lord Shiv. Value 16 accepts organization as 2 raised to power 4, which is parallel to the value of the dimensional frame of creators, the space, 4 space, presided by Lord Brahma. As such, Ganit Beej or Beej Ganit with a pair of values 1816 is Lord Shiv, Transcendental Lord, Lord Brahma, Creator, the presiding deity of 5 space and presiding deity of 4 space. Reach from 5 space to 4 space is a reach from 5 space as domain to 4 space as creative boundary, and reach from 4 space to 5 space is that 4 space is a domain and 5 space is origin. Therefore, the mathematics becomes a healthy food for mind as we can have a simultaneous comprehension and imbibing of the values of 5 space and 4 space in the role of domain and a boundary, and further 4 space and 5 space in the role of domain and 5 space as origin. These features, as these are to be taken as the format along which we have to chase mathematics. The mathematics of the vision, mathematics of the comprehension of ancient wisdom of our ancestors, Vedic mathematics, mathematics of the Ganita Sutras, and for it we have to have this pair of domains, means 4 space and 5 space, hypercube of 4 and hypercube of 5. We know the origin of 4 space is 5 space. Therefore, this chase is going to be a chase from a 4 space to its origin, 5 space. Here is the enlightenment. Lord Brahma is the presiding deity of 4 space. And within the cavity of heart of Lord Brahma is a seat of transcendental Lord. Lord Brahma meditates within cavity of his own heart and is blessed with the transcendental blessings of Lord Shiv. And with the blessings of Lord Shiv, Lord Brahma multiplies as 10 Brahmas, and it amounts to the transcendental domain getting creative boundary of 10 components. It is this reach for 4 space. So 4 space is the format of the 4th chakra of human body, that is the heart. Hirde, heart, is a seat of a format of 4th chakra, 4th eternal circuit of human body. Within cavity of the heart is a transcendental seat. One meditates within cavity of one's own heart. Sadhakas, students, scholars, and everybody as an existence phenomenon within human frame as Purusha is equipped with a format that when one meditates, one transcends within one's own heart, then there happens to be a transcendental phenomenon of transcendental grace. And as a result of this transcendental grace, Lord Brahma multiplies as 10 Brahmas. It is this phenomenon which is a phenomenon of comprehension of our ancestors. It is ancient wisdom enlightenment. This ancient wisdom enlightenment is that when one meditates within cavity of one's own heart, there flows transcendental grace. It is this transcendental grace which is a healthy food for a mind. And it is this transcendental grace, a healthy food of a mind. This transcendental grace provides a consciousness-based, Chetana, is provided to the intelligence field. As such, students of Vedic mathematics, mathematics scholars, and Vedic mathematics teachers are on the same platform, along the same format, when mathematics is taken as a healthy food for the mind. For this healthy food for the mind would mean to provide consciousness base to the intelligence field. For providing a consciousness base to the intelligence field, one is to meditate within cavity of one's own heart, as per the enlightenment preserved, as that Lord Brahma, when meditates within cavity of one's own heart, then with the grace of the transcendental Lord, Lord Brahma multiplies as 10 Brahmas. If further the happening that 5 space gets enveloped within a creative boundary. So 4 space plays the role of a boundary. So here originally 4 space was in the role of a domain, and now in the process of meditation this transcendental phenomenon happens, and the role of the 4 space as domain transforms into a role of a 4 space as a boundary. Further, simultaneously, a transcendental phenomenon happens that 5 space, which originally has been in the role of an origin of 4 space, now manifests as a domain fold. It is this process of 4 space with the transcendental grace acquiring transition and transformation for the role of 4 space as a domain to the role of 4 space as a boundary. Further, simultaneously, the 5 space, which originally has been the role of a origin, it now transits and transforms back in the role of 5 space as a origin, 5 space as a domain. So if we start with 4 space as a domain, then we will have a reach at 5 space as a domain. Then simultaneously, when we'll have a 5 space in the role of a origin, then we will go back to role of 5 space as a domain. So dimension, boundary, domain, and origin, these are the few sequential manifestation features. Therefore, this origin goes back to this domain, and the domain goes back to the role of a boundary. These features deserve to be appreciated as Ganita Beach, mathematics seed. The mathematics seed and mathematics of seed are pair of formats which are interconnected as a reflection paired pairs. Here, if we have a fresh look at the setup of the Ganita Sutras and Upsutras, then we'll see that Ganita Upsutra 13, the end reach, is a reach which gives us Gunit Samuchya and Samuchya Gunita. So this reach is in fact a reach of a dimonad. So when we are having a dimonad, say of two parts, say white and a black part, then its image will be again a dimonad format, but in an opposite orientation. This as such is the format for accepting a transcendental grace to play as consciousness base for our intelligence field. Therefore, we as students, we as scholars, and we as teachers can be on a proper transcendental path by following the enlightenment preserved and manifesting as the Ganita Sutras is that one is to meditate within the cavity of one's own heart and acquire the transcendental grace, and this transcendental grace will provide a consciousness base for our intelligence field. A step ahead, when we see that we are at this feature 1816 and 1618, we see the summation value is 34, while the difference value is 2. It is this reach, and we know 34 accepts an organization 7, 8, 9 and 10, which is a reach at hypercube 9. So in this process, we will be having a reach at hypercube 9, the representative regular body of a 9 space. And here we are now Brahm. This is the end reach blissful attainment for the Purusha as an existence phenomenon and going parallel to the Brahm, the ultimate eternity, and it is a Sayujya, merger state. It is from first perfect number 6 to second perfect number 28 reach. Therefore, the jurisprudence of mathematics gives us first value as that mathematics is product of mind. The second value is mathematics is healthy food for mind, and for it we reach at Ganit Bij and Bij Ganit. Now this formulation, when we'll have a proper smooth chase of the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras, and when we'll reach from Ekadhike Purve in first sutra to Gunit Samuchya Gunita, the last 13th Upsutra, then we will see how beautifully these whole chain of values have been properly availed and are fully lively and are completely available, and that is why the pairing format, when we pair the things, then it takes to all formats pairing. Let us now have the blissful exercises. We have seen that when the linear dimension are synthesized, then the single linear dimension gives us value 1, the pair of values gives value 3, triple values gives value 6, 10, 15, 16 and so on. Further, we have seen that the spatial dimension synthesis phenomenon is taking us to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Here we can have a pause and see that the difference value here with respect to single linear dimension, a single spatial dimension is -1. Likewise, the difference value of pair of spatial dimensions and pair of linear dimensions as well is -1. A step ahead, the difference value of triple spatial dimensions and triple linear dimension is 0. Step ahead, value is 2, then the value is 5, then value is going to be 9, then value is going to be 14. When this rule is applied, this becomes a rule, a dimensional synthesis rule. It is the mathematics of the dimensional synthesis. This mathematics of dimensional synthesis becomes a working rule. We'll see that this rule is taking us to the difference as taking us to Ganita Sutra 1, Eka Adhikain Purvain. Now, this rule we see applies not only to 1 and 2, it again applies to spatial and solar dimensions as well. The difference value here for the single spatial and solar dimension as well as -1. Difference value of the pair of spatial and solar dimensions as well as -1. The difference value of triple spatial and triple solar dimensions as well as 0. And so it continues. And it doesn't stop here. It sequentially continues for creative dimensions and solar dimensions difference, a step ahead for the transcendental and the creative dimensions difference. As such, if we are proceeding above, if we are reaching from nth dimension, nth order to n-1th order, then the rule comes to be this. However, if we go in the reverse way, that means if we are reaching from -1 as a dimension and want to reach at a 0 order, 0 as a dimension, then it is going to be in opposite orientations. So -1 and +1. So this in opposite orientation, the same rule with the reversal of orientation transforms into this, that -1 becomes +1, -1 +1. Therefore, if we are in ascending order, if we are reaching from n to n+1 order, then the rule is going to be like this. And if we are going in the reverse order from n to n-1th order, then it is this. If we imbibe this conclusion of a Vedic mathematics, then we will be face to face with the phenomenon as to how the whole range of existence phenomenon of a solar universe is in fact a phenomenon of the dimensional synthesis. It is this phenomenon of the dimensional synthesis which deserves to be chased as blissful exercises. And these blissful exercises, as these are, then ultimately will take us to as to how the 0 as entity accepts association of a value or a count as a 1, and that is how the point which becomes at a 0 value and also gets fulfilled with the full structures of a domain. So here a point of a line is fulfilled with the structures of 1. However, it is at a 0 value, and because of it, it is a 0 as an entity, and it is also a single entity of accepting an association of value 1. This thing happens with respect to the 2 space as well. So 2 space content as a point means the full structure of 2 space is embedded within the point, and that way it is at a zero entity, as it has a zero area though embedded complete in it, and it also accepts an association of value 1. Like that, the whole range of dimensional domains, dimensional bodies, dimensional spaces, dimensional space contents, dimensional space content lumps, these all, as these are ultimately making us and providing us a situation in which we can handle simultaneously each expression of every dimensional space in terms of as zero entities accepting an association of counts 1, cardinality 1, and with it, as we had seen, the value 0 mathematics as addition and multiplication, as well as the subtraction 2, with respect to the 0 always retains the same value. It is this feature which is available and which is being utilized and which is helping reach at as to how, if we are having one center and we take it as an origin and we say there is a flow of a dimension, say n space dimension, has n number of points, with one point getting fixed at the origin, one at the other end reach, and remaining there being n minus 2 points, then we know that with respect to the first axis, value comes to be n. However, when we are having a pair of axes, then in this way, here the contribution is going to be n plus n. However, out of this, to bridge the gap between the loose ends, we will require need n minus 2 points to make it again a continuity of a dimensional setup. Now, then we will subtract n minus 2 and it will take us to a value n plus 2. Now at the next step, when we are at say 3, then we will have one addition value here, n plus 2 plus n. However, we have to know we are having a triple dimensions, that this third dimension is to bridge the gap between these two loose ends. Therefore, here the difference would be 2 into n minus 2, and it will give us the value 6. A step ahead, when we will move at 3 dimensions giving value 6, we are having an additional 4th dimension value n, and then we have to bridge 3 loose ends, and which would require subtraction value this, which will come to be 12 minus 2n. A step ahead, when from this value, when we have an addition of a one more dimension, but simultaneously will require a subtraction of value 4 into n minus 2, then the value will be 20 minus, this would be 12 plus 2, 20, and this will be minus 5n. This way, we see we can very smoothly, very sequentially, are reaching at this reach by putting value of n. So it will be a blissful exercise to reach at the linear dimension synthesis values sequence 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21, 28 on first principles. So one shall work out on first principles and reach at the linear dimensions of synthesis value sequence 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21, 28 and so on. Likewise, one shall reach at the spatial dimensions, synthesis value sequences 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then reach at C, the difference comes to be as per this rule, and this applies throughout. And it will become a very blissful exercise that we will be really face to face with the ancient wisdom mathematics, Vedic mathematics, the mathematics of the Ganita Sutras, the comprehension of our ancestors, the taking us to that mathematics is the most healthy food for a mind, and this also will help us appreciate that actually there is a fundamental unity of a human mind. This fundamental unity of a human mind is giving us a continuity of our intellectual reservoir. Therefore, if we will have a rechase for the intellectual history of man, then we will be reaching at the chase of the fundamental unity of a mind, while the mind interacting with the nature is taking us to the values of the Vedic mathematics. So it is this reach, it is this feature, it is this value which is to be appreciated, which is to be comprehended, which is to be imbibed fully by us, and then we will see that we are reaching at Ganit Bij, mathematics seed, and further simultaneously we will be reaching at Bij Ganit, the mathematics of a Bij, the mathematics of seed. Therefore, from here we will be reaching at as to how the mathematics of existence phenomenon within frames, like a tree framed as evolutionary growth phenomenon, the mathematics chase is inherently from the reservoir values of the seed package. Likewise, the existence phenomenon within human frame, or may it be within the any frame, existent phenomena, maybe of birds, animals, or even of the earth, even of the other bodies, and all existence phenomena within frames as such will lead and require the mathematics of the dimensional synthesis. So this dimensional synthesis mathematics is to take us to Ganit Bij, the mathematics seed, as well as to mathematics of seed, and with it the ancient wisdom, when is to be followed, then that will be a healthy food in the form of a transcendental grace with which we will acquire a consciousness base for our intelligence field. Thank you very much.